So, you've outgrown your starter home. The kids are sharing a room. They've officially become too big. The toys have completely colonized your living room. And your kitchen table has doubled as a home office for way too long. You're ready for that next step, that beautiful, spacious, forever home. Maybe right here in the Woodlands or Conroe, but you're completely frozen. You're paralyzed because of one terrifying logistical Catch-22. If I sell my current house first, where does my family live while we look? Do I risk moving my kids into a temporary apartment or crashing on a relative's couch? But on the flip side, if I find my dream house and I buy it first, how on earth do I pull out a down payment while my equity is trapped? And how do I avoid the financial ruin of paying two mortgages at the exact same time if my old house sits on the market? Well, I'm Bren Brewer, your favorite realtor, and I'm going to tell you how. So let's get into it. Today, we're kicking off an in-depth three-part series that I like to call the Move-Up Masterclass. This series is designed specifically for you, the ones who already own a home in the greater Houston area and maybe a starter home in spring, a townhouse, or a smaller property that maybe you bought years ago. And you're trying to navigate the leap into the $400,000 to $600,000 price range right here in the North Houston area like Conroe, the Woodlands, Tomball Spring, Magnolia. Over my last 15 years in real estate, I have learned one major truth. The biggest hurdle that's holding move-up buyers back isn't finding the house they love. The inventory is there. The real hurdle is the logistics. It's the fear of being temporarily homeless or the fear of being financially stranded. In this masterclass, we're going to pull back the curtain on the exact strategies that my team uses every day. We're going to look at the brutal pros and cons of selling first versus buying first. And then I'm going to give you the exact tactical insider plays, including contract mechanisms and modern financing tools. That's going to let you pull off the transition seamlessly, moving your family only once. So let's start with the most traditional route, selling your current home first. From a purely conservative financial standpoint, any standard financial planner or risk-averse lender will tell you this is the safest path. So let's break down exactly why it looks so good on paper. And then we'll talk about the real-world friction it causes for a busy family. First, you'll lock in your exact net proceeds. Until a buyer signs on the dotted line and the wire transfer hits your account, your home equity is just a theoretical number on paper. By selling first, you know exactly how much cash you have in the bank. If you walk away with $120,000 in equity, you know to the penny what your down payment and closing cost budget looks like for the next house. Second, it completely eliminates your debt to income friction. When you go to apply for a mortgage on a $500,000 home in the Woodlands, the underwriter is going to look at your monthly liabilities. If your current starter home mortgage is still active, that monthly payment counts against you. For many move-up families, a lender simply will not approve them for a new loan while the old one is active. Selling first is going to wipe that liability off your credit completely. Third, you become a non-contingent buyer. When we write an offer on your next home, we don't have to tell the seller, hey, we'll buy your house as soon as some stranger buys ours. We can submit a clean, strong offer, which gives us immense negotiating leverage to get you a better price or seller concessions. But now let's talk about the reality of doing this with a spouse, kids, a dog, pets. The moment your home closes, you've got to hand over those keys. If you haven't closed on your new home yet, you're moving twice. Think about what that actually means. Packing up your entire life, paying for a moving company or bribing your friends with pizza, putting all your heavy furniture into a climate-controlled storage unit somewhere off 45, renting a short-term apartment, or moving into an extended stay Airbnb. And then doing that entire grueling process all over again 3 or 4 months later. That puts you under a ticking clock. When you're living out of suitcases, you start to feel desperate. Instead of taking your time to find the perfect neighborhood in Conroe, you might feel forced to settle for a house that you don't love just because you want to stop paying for storage and get your kids settled before the school year starts. Desperation is how bad real estate decisions are made. Now, let's look at the second traditional option, buying that new home first. This is the luxury route when it comes to peace of mind and convenience. The advantages here are entirely focused on your lifestyle and your sanity. You shop with zero pressure. You can wait for the perfect property to hit the market, whether that's a beautiful cul-de-sac lot in Alden Bridge or a sprawling property with a bit of land out toward Montgomery or Willis. Once we find it and win it, you close on the new house, take your time painting the rooms or updating the flooring before your furniture arrives, and you move exactly one time. Your kids transition smoothly from their old bedrooms to their new ones, and then we worry about cleaning and staging your vacant old house to put it on the market. Sounds amazing, right? It is, if you can afford it. The financial cons of this strategy are why most families think they cannot move up. First, the down payment jam. If all your wealth is tied up in the appreciation of your current home, where is the down payment for the new house coming from? Unless you have an extra 50 to 100K sitting in liquid cash outside of your retirement accounts, you're stuck. Second, qualifying for 2 mortgages, lenders are legally bound by strict debt to income ratios, right? So to buy first without selling, your income's got to be high enough to prove to an underwriter that you can comfortably pay for the mortgage on your current home and the new mortgage on the new home at the same time, indefinitely. For the average move-up family in our market, that math just doesn't work. Third, the double carrying cost stress. Even if you do qualify to hold both loans, what happens if your old house doesn't sell right away? Every month it sits on the market is a month where you're writing 2 massive checks to the bank. That pressure can cause you to panic and slash the price of your old home, costing you thousands of dollars in equity. So if selling first disrupts your entire family life and buying first requires you to be independently wealthy, what's the solution? How do normal families actually make this move? This is exactly why you hire an expert strategy team rather than just an agent who opens the door. In our market, we don't just rely on those 2 black and white options. We look at the gray area, and there are 3 specific tactical plays that my team's going to use to give you the financial safety of selling first, combined with the convenience of buying first. The first play is that seller leaseback, and it is a beautifully elegant tool in the Texas real estate framework. Here's how it works. We put your current home on the market. When an offer comes in, we explicitly write into the contract that upon closing, the new buyer agrees to lease the home back to you for a specified period, anywhere from 30 to 60 days. On closing day, you get your money, the buyer's funds hit your title company, and your old mortgage is completely paid off. The remaining cash equity is wired directly into your bank account, but instead of packing your bags that night, you stay right where you are. You pay a daily rental rate to the new owner, usually equivalent to their principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And now you're sitting on a pile of liquid cash. Your debt to income ratio is completely clear, and you've got 2 full months to finalize the purchase of your next home. Close on it and move straight in. You move once, you have your money, zero risk. The second play is the contingent offer using the addendum for sale of other property by buyer. This is where we go out, we find your dream home first, we submit an offer to the seller that says we're going to buy your home for this amount of money, but the contract's contingent upon us selling the current home and closing by a specific date. Now, if you talk to an agent who hasn't adapted to today's market, they're going to tell you that sellers won't accept contingent offers. In a crazy seller's market where homes get 20 cash offers in a weekend, that's probably true. But in our balanced market, especially if you're looking at some of the spectacular new construction communities in Conroe or the outlying pockets of Montgomery County, builders and sellers are absolutely willing to cooperate with a strong pre-approved buyer. We protect you by ensuring that if your old home doesn't sell within an agreed time frame, you can back out of the contract and get your earnest money back. It gives you a safety net while locking up the house you want. The third play is a game changer. It's emerged over the last few years, and it utilizes modern financial technology tools. My team partners with local, specialized lenders right here in Montgomery County who offer buy before you sell programs. Here's how it works. A specialized lender assesses the equity equity in their current home, they unlock the equity before the home is sold, providing you with a line of credit or a bridge facility to act as your down payment on the next house. In some cases, these programs will actually buy the new house on your behalf with a cash offer. They'll let you move in with your family and give you a guaranteed 90-day window to sell your vacant old house on the open market. Once your house sells, the bridge loan is paid off and you transition into a standard long-form mortgage on your new home. Yes, there are program fees associated with this, but when you calculate the cost of moving twice, paying for storage, and the sheer emotional toll on your family, these modern bridge solutions are often incredibly cost effective. Before we sit down to choose which of these three plays is right for your family, we've got to talk about some very specific financial realities that come with leveling up. When you transition from a $250,000 starter home to a $500,000 forever home, your monthly payment doesn't just double based on the price tag. Texas math has some unique variables. So first, you've got to look at MUD taxes. If you're moving out of an older established area and into a gorgeous, amenity-rich new construction community in Conroe or surrounding areas, that neighborhood likely utilizes a municipal utility district or water control and improvement district to fund its infrastructure. It's a bond, and these bonds mean the property tax rate in a brand new neighborhood can be significantly higher than the tax rate in an older, more established village of the Woodlands where the infrastructure bonds have already been paid off. My team does a deep dive analysis on every single neighborhood you look at, so there are absolutely zero surprises when your mortgage statement arrives. Second, let's talk about some good news. The Texas homestead exemption. Thanks to the major property tax relief packages recently passed in Texas, the state school tax exemption for your primary residence sits at a massive $100,000. When you sell your starter home and buy your next one, we need to make sure your homestead exemption is filed correctly and transferred to your new primary residence as quickly as Texas allows. This is going to ensure your assessed value cannot skyrocket more than 10% per year, which is going to protect your long-term budget as your new neighborhood continues to grow and appreciate. Now look, every single family we work with has a completely unique set of circumstances. Your income, your career, your current home equity, honestly, just how much disruption that your entire family can handle, that's going to dictate which of these strategies is the winning play for you. You don't have to guess your way through this. If you're ready to stop feeling frozen and start building a clear timeline, the very first step is knowing exactly what your current home is worth in today's market. We need to know your real numbers. If you click the link right down in the description below, it'll take you to our custom hyper-local home valuation page. It takes less than 2 minutes. My team will look at the recent sales right in your specific neighborhood to give you an accurate assessment of your equity. From there, we can jump on a quick, zero-pressure strategy call and build your family's custom move-up blueprint. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment letting me know what neighborhood you're dreaming of moving into. And make sure your notifications are turned on, because part 2 of the Move-Up Masterclass, we're going to actually get into the anatomy of these neighborhoods. We're going to compare the lifestyle, the commutes, and the hidden details of living in the Woodlands versus Conroe, so you can find your absolute forever pocket. I'm Bren Brewer, your favorite realtor. Thanks for spending time with me today. Let's get your numbers figured out, and I'll see you next time.